Hello folks, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to Unit 6. Hopefully you're having some fun with functions, that it's a little bit more interesting than the previous ones that we dealt with, dealing with function prototypes and etc. So as usual, the video will try to cover, I'm going to cover a couple problems which are hopefully helpful for you to learn from and practice on them, and then I will provide you also the code as usual. So we're going to do problem 18 and then problem 22. Problem 18, I guess you guys already figured it out. Everything that is math is really a lot of fun for me, but I think also, even if it's not really much fun for you, it's something that makes you think outside of the box, which is really critical from that perspective. So if we look at number 18, paint job estimator. So it tells you a painting company has determined that for every 110 square feet of wall space, 1 gallon of paint and 8 hours of labor will be required. So the company charges $25 per hour for labor. Write a modular program that allows the user to enter the number of rooms that are to be painted and the price of the paint per gallon. It should also ask for the square feet of wall space in each room. It should then display the following data. So you have the number of gallons of paint required, the hours of labor needed, the cost of the paint, how much do you charge for labor, the total cost of the paint. So, and they told you input validation, do not accept a value less than 1 for the number of rooms, do not accept a value less than $10 for the price of paint, and do not accept a negative value for the square footage, which of course is not gonna make a whole lot of sense. So we'll start with few comments. I will show you also in this how to add more comments, like I asked you to do so in when I graded your unit 3, I think unit 3 homework, to start adding comments, which is very useful and helpful, and not just for the reader, which is me, but also for you as to understand that, hey, I know what I'm doing from the point of view that I'm covering everything that is needed. So like I stated it before in my last video, the more you have a skeleton to follow, the better it is that you're not gonna pretty much forget anything. So paint job estimator, then we have our main library, IOStream. And then we'll need one more, which is IOMinib, because you can have like half an hour, half a gallon, depending on the room, how big it is and stuff like that. So include IOMinib. The computer is acting weird today. My apology. Namespace. STD. Then we need to do some declaration for a constant. So constant for the wall area that let's see, 1 gallon of paint will cover. And then I'll do my constant int. And let's call it wall area per gallon. Which is equal to 110. They give us the number. Then I need to do a constant for the hourly rate for labor. So that's has to be a double, so constant double. Once again, I've mentioned it before, we're using constant because it's a number that is not going to change. So hourly rate, which is equal to $25. So I'll need the 25.0. Oops. Then we need some function prototype, which for your work, for your homework assigned, that you guys will be doing, you must use function prototypes in every single assignment that I will ask you to get done. So int get number of rooms can be one variable. Then we'll need one for the paint price, so double, we'll call it get paint price. And as you can see, guys, I'm using what? I'm using uppercase letter for every new word, so like that if you guys are reading it, it's not going to be confusing, and it's something that, you know, it's not going to give you an error. Also, we need also to get the what is it called, the wall square feet. So, you know, to calculate the wall square feet, so we'll do get, we'll call it wall square feet. Keep it simple. And then let's see what other variable we need. A variable for the number of gallons that we're going to use, so int number of gallons, and the value will be a double. Oops. And then we'll need one for the labor of hours that will be worked, so double labor, just basic hours, and that is a double also, the value of it. And then finally we need a void for the cost, so display cost, and we'll have an integer, a double, and a double. Now we have our main function, int main. Then we need to do a declaration for few variables, which will do one for the number of rooms, so number rooms, one for the paint price, so double paint price. We'll need one for the total wall area, so we'll call it int total wall area, and then we'll need to initialize that to 0. And then finally we need couple, one of them to calculate the gallons, like, you know, to allow us to get the number of gallons in, one for hours, so int gallons, and then double for hours. Now let's go ahead and put some comments on these. First one is what? Number of rooms to paint, I guess, to paint. And this one can be just price of the paint per gallon, so price of the paint, oops, per gallon. Then for this one, it is what? Accumulator for total walls area, so accumulator for total wall area. This one is just gallons of paint needed, so gallons of paint needed. And then this one is basically just hours of labor needed. So right there, as you can see, guys, I did my variables, put a comment in front of it, simple, just few words, which is hopefully easy to get to understand if I get back to it. So the first thing I need to do is ask the user to give me the number of rooms. So get the number of rooms. For that one, I'll do number num rooms is equal to, oops, get number of rooms, get number of rooms. Then the next thing I need to get is what? Is the price of paint per gallon. So get the price of paint per gallons. So paint price is equal to get paint price. Get paint price. Then what I need to do is get the total wall area of the room. So determine how much needs to be painted. So the total, get the total wall area of the rooms. So it will be what? Paint price. No, sorry. What I need to do here is before that I'll do a for loop for int I is equal to 1. Oops. I is equal to I is equal to 1. Let's see, I less or equal to number of rooms. So number of rooms I plus plus, and oops, rooms. See right there, I would have got an error when I compile it. Then for that, I'll need a variable which we'll call it wall area, which is an int. So cout, I'll put rooms, which is I in this case, and then wall area is equal to get wall square feet and total wall area plus equal wall area. Okay, now we're finished with that one. So next, what I need to get is get the number of gallons of paint needed. So get the number of gallons needed. So gallons is equal to number of gallons of the total wall area. Next, the next thing I need to get is get the number of hours needed. So the labor hours needed. So get the number of labor hours needed. So for that one, hours is equal to just labor hours of total wall area. Then the next thing I need to do is display the total charges. So for that one, just display cost of what? Gallons. Oops. And paint price and hours. So the three things that I need for this, and then return 0. So this is the first part we're done with. Now that's for my main function. So I'm done with my main function now. Now I need to do my other function prototypes. So the first thing now I need to work on is the get number of rooms function. Ask the user to enter the number of rooms that are to be painted. So the number of rooms is returned as an integer. The number of rooms is returned as an integer. So here we'll have int get number of rooms, rooms. So int rooms, and then what I need to get is the number of rooms from the user. So cout enter the number of rooms to be painted. cin, oops, is basically the rooms that I need. Then what I need to do is, after I get the number of rooms, the next thing I need to do is do a validation. So you always, when you do some type of rooms, you remember they told us that we cannot accept less than 1 for the number of rooms. We cannot accept less than $10 per for the price of paint. We cannot accept any value that is negative for the amount of square footage. So after this one, what I need to do is validate the input. Oops. And I'll do a while loop. So while rooms less than 1, then we gotta tell the user that cannot be the case. So cout error, enter 1 or greater. Cout enter the number of rooms to be painted. Enter the number of rooms and this one is just basically just rooms, your cin. Then you return rooms. Now we're done with this one. The next function that I have to work with is the get paint price. So the get paint price function asks the user to enter the price of the paint per gallon. And the price is returned as a double. I mean, it's the price, so anything monetary has to be a double. So the price is a double. So double get paint price. I need to declare a variable, call it price. Next thing I need to do is get the price per gallon, get the price per gallon, and then I'll have to validate that after I get that from the user. So for that one, you do a cout, enter the price of the paint per gallon. So enter the price of paint per gallon, and that is cin, which is just the variable that I just declared, which is price. Now I need to do the same thing as I did earlier, which is what? The validation. So I need to validate the input. And in this case, I'll do the same thing using a while loop. So while price less than $10, then you give them the same thing, like you give them an error. So cout paint price must be $10 or greater. Then you just ask the user to enter the price. So cout enter the price of the paint per gallon. Which is price. and you return basically the price. So we're done with this function prototype. Now the next one we need to work on is get wall square feet. So the get wall square feet function asks the user to enter the square feet of wall space for April. So here the number of square feet is returned once again as a double. So the number of square feet is returned as a double. So for that one we'll do declaration double. We'll call it get wall square feet that one will need also a variable. We'll call it wall area. Now we need to get the wall space. As you can see, guys, we are doing it for each one at a time. So for each of the one that we declared at the beginning, our function prototypes, I'm doing it each one alone. After I get the wall space, I need to validate that, and I'm done with that one. Then I'll go for the next function, which we called it was it, I think, number of gallons or something like that, also that you'll need to complete. So it's one after the other that you complete until you get every single step covered. Then that will allow you to pretty much, when you process the data, it's either the user entered the data properly or they do a mistake, and then you tell them that they cannot get it done. So for this one, cout enter the area of wall space in square feet. The area of wall space in square feet. And cin, that is basically just the wall area that I declared. Now we need to validate the input. For that one, same thing, we'll use a while loop. They told us, they gave us those instructions. So wall area less than 0, then the user will get an error. So cout and you tell wall area must be non-negative number, must be a non-negative. So the user has to enter a valid positive number. Cout enter the area of wall space in square feet. And oops, forget the semicolon, and that's cin, that is wall area. Then what I need to do is return my wall area. Next function that we need to work on is the number of gallons. Number of gallons function accepts as an argument the total square feet of wall area space, or just wall space, don't need to be repetitive, and calculates the number of gallons of paint required. So the number of gallons is returned as an integer. So I'll do the same thing again as I did just above it. Number of gallons. I gotta make sure that I don't mess up the spelling that I had completed on the top. Double of wall area. And for that one, we need a few variables. So double, we'll call it double gallons. We need one for just a reminder, so double remainder. What's left over from the calculation? Let's say use 1 gallon and a half, or one third of a gallon, etc. And then int, we'll call it in gallon. Now we need to calculate, so calculate the gallons as a double. So double gallons is equal to wall area divided by the wall area per gallon. Wall area per gallon. What I need to do next is get the truncated number of gallons. The truncated number of gallons. In this case, I'm going to do double gallons is equal to static cast of int. What this allows me to do, static cast allows the compiler to force a conversion. So the compiler will convert double gallon, which is a double, into integer. Whatever you put right here, it will get converted by the compiler. So your value will get converted to whatever you put after static cast. So in this case, what I have here, it will convert that into an integer. So double gallons for this one. Then what I need to do is get the fractional part of the gallon. So I need to get, like, any decimal that might happen. So get the fractional part of a gallon needed. A fractional part of a gallon needed. So remainder is equal to double gallon minus static cast of int of double gallons. Now what I need to do next is determine if a fractional part of a gallon is needed. So in this case, I'll have if remainder greater than 0, then int gallons plus equal 1. That's just in case. If so, then we'll add 1 gallon. If so, add 1 gallon. So return int gallons. Now I'm done with this one. Next thing I need to work on is what? Is the labor of hours function. So now I need to, the labor hours function accepts as an argument the total square feet of wall space, and calculate and calculate the hours of labor needed to paint the amount of wall space. So in this case, now also I need to be careful about that the number itself that will be returned. So the number of hours is returned, you probably guessed it, in double, as a double, because it's number of hours, which can be a decimal or something like that. It has to be a double, so we'll call it double labor hours of double wall area. And then for here, first thing I need to worry about is what? 1 hour, oops, not Q, sorry, 1 hour of labor required for every 115 square feet of wall space. So for that one, we'll do just basic double hours is equal to wall area divided by wall area per gallon. And then what I return is just the hours that were worked. Done for this one. Next I need to do, which is my last one, is the display cost. So that's the last function I need to work on. So the display cost function accepts as argument the number of gallons of paint, the price per gallon, what else does it accept? So the gallons of paint, the price per gallon, and the number of hours. So and the number of hours, actually of the labor hours, labor hours required for the job. And what it will do is it calculates and display the total estimated charge, the total estimated charges. So for that one, it's our void display cost of what? Of an end of gallons that we need. We need the price, paint price, and finally just we need the labor hours, which is a double for hours. So those are the three things that we need to display for this one. So for here we need a couple variables, 3 variables actually. We'll call one of them total, yeah, I'll make it lowercase, total paint price. I'll do one total labor, so double total labor, and I'll do one total charges. Let me just put the quick comments on these so I don't forget what they are. So the first one is to hold the total cost of the paint. So to hold the total cost of paint. Second one is basically to hold the total labor charge. So to hold the total labor charge. Oops. And the last one is to hold the total cost of the job. So the total cost of the job. Now, first thing I need to do is what? Is calculate the total cost of the paint. So I need to figure that out. So calculate the total cost of the paint. So for that one, it's basically what? Total cost of paint that I just created the variable. Total cost, total paint cost is equal to gallons times paint price. That's it. Gallons times paint price. Nope. Which is paint price. So gallons times the paint price. Next, I need to calculate the total labor charges. So calculate the total labor charges. For that one is what? Total labor is equal to hours times the hourly rate. Hourly rate. Then the next thing I need to do is what? Is calculate just the final job. So calculate the total cost, like of everything. So calculate the total cost of the job. Total cost of the job. And to do that is basically what? Total charges is equal to what? Total paint cost plus the total labor. That's it. Total paint cost. Total paint cost plus the total labor. Total labor. Okay, I need to change this one because if not, it will create a conflict. It should be cost for that one. And this one should be also the same. So total paint cost. Then I'm done. The next thing I need to do, the last thing I need to do is just do the display. So display the charges for the job. And just doing some formatting first. So cout fixed show point and set precision, we'll just do it to 2. So now I just do my couts, my output, display. And then here we'll call it estimated charges. That's the title that we'll get as soon as you run your code. Then we have let's do some lines. This should be enough. Then we have to do the gallons of paint, the price per gallon, the price per paint cost, and then we have to do hourly hours of labors and total charges. So first one, cout, we're going to look into trying to find is gallons of paint, and that is just gallons. then I need to find, so I have gallons of paint. I need to find the price, so price per gallon, which is paint price. The next thing I need to find is the paint cost. So cout paint cost, which is total paint cost, total paint cost. And then I need to do the hours of labor. And that is total labor, total labor. And then finally, the last one is basically just the total charges, how much the whole thing cost. Total charges, and that'll be in dollar. And it is total charges for the value itself that will, be displayed. So we'll read that information. And that's it for this. So let's review this really quickly. Hopefully we did not forget anything. So first thing, I need to create my constant for the wall area, constant for the hourly rate, which is given to me. Then I have my function prototypes, which each one of these is a function on its own that I utilize down here by having, the get paint price, get the wall square feet, get the number of gallons, and then the get and then the labor hours, and then you have the display cost that displays everything that you've accomplished. So let's run that, see, hopefully no mistakes. Still thinking about it. Okay, got an error. Let's see what the error is. Let's get the total way at the beginning. So get the total, let's see, wall area. What does it say? Conversion from double to integer, possible data loss. Okay, let's see, wall area is equal to get wall square feet. Okay, why is that a problem? Let's see. Let's see. So, am I missing something? And this one is what? It says in gallons. Uninitialized. Okay, I did not declare this one. This one is easy to fix. But the first one, let's see, what does it say? Wait, what was the error again? The number of it, it's 4244. Okay, so arguments conversion from type 1 to type 0, possible data loss. A floating point was converted to an integer type. A possible loss of data may occur. So what is it referring to? Let's see. So if I have int, okay, let's see. For this first one right here, I have, let's see, let me check my function prototypes at the beginning. So for this one, I have get numbers, it's an integer, get paint is a double, get wall square feet has to be a double, then number of gallons is an integer, then labor is a double, then I have my, okay, this is all good to go. I have no errors here. Number of rooms in an integer, the paint of price has to be a double, total wall area is an integer, and then gallons is an integer, yeah, and then hours should be, so from there let's see where this one is. So this one is let's see, for this one is under, let's see what declaration, under the main function that I have. So this should be good to go. Then I need to get the number of rooms, I need to get the price of paint per gallon, then I need to get the total wall area of the rooms. That's all good to go. So total wall area plus equal wall area. Okay, get the number of gallons needed. That's how I calculate the number of gallons that I need. Then I get the number of labor hours needed. Okay. Then I'll look at get display the total charges. Okay, that should be good to go also. So right here, it's the for loop. Within the for loop, get the wall area within the for loop. So for I don't see any issue with this one. So if this one is an integer wall area, so cout room wall area is equal to get wall square feet, okay, total wall area plus equal wall area. So why is it giving me an error? Alright, just give me a second guys, let me go ahead and try to debug this. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. I just had to turn on restart the Visual Studio and it worked just fine. Not sure what the problem might be. Alright, let's see. Antivirus is checking that. One moment until it finishes it. Alright, so it's good to go. For this one, it has entered the number of rooms to be painted, 0. It does not allow me to do that. As you can see, that was the validation. So I can do 2. Enter the paint, the price of the paint, $5. Cannot do that. It has to be 10 or higher. Enter the area of wall space, -5. Cannot do that. So I'll do 50, for example. And then enter room 2. You do the same thing. Enter the area of wall space, 58, and it gives you your total. So right there, that's pretty much what it is. Gallons of paint 1, price per gallon what it is, paint cost how much it's going to cost, hours of labor 24.55, and then the total charges will be $34.55. I'll have that for you in Blackboard, so hopefully you guys can review it. But the idea behind having comments, you guys can start. I've seen a lot of people that do that, that actually create the comments first, and then based on the comments they start filling in the code itself. So putting every function that I have, writing the function that needs to be done, and then from there fill in the blanks. Pretty much that's really a good idea to start doing something like this, which is usually very helpful to do. So it's not that complicated. I mean, I don't know, maybe you'll look at it and say, oh, there's a lot of stuff that I need to worry about. Not really. As long as you follow the steps that were asked of you to complete, then that's pretty much what it comes to. So that's it for this one. Let's go ahead and do number 20. What did I say? What was the other problem that I want you to do? Oh, the 22, problem 22. Let's look into that problem in your textbook. So is prime function. The question is, a prime number is a number that only evenly divisible by itself and 1. For example, they give you 1. Write a program name is prime, which takes an integer as an argument and returns true if the argument is a prime number, or false otherwise demonstrates the function in a complete program. So we'll start with the same thing. So chapter 6, programming, challenge 22, which is called is prime Actually, it's, let's see, is it lower? It's lowercase for the I. My bad. So is prime function. So we have our main library include, which is IOStream, and that's the only one that I need for this one. No need for an extra one. But I'm pretty sure by the end of the semester, you guys are going to start just going about writing every single function that you, every single library that you can remember. So our function prototype is a Boolean is prime, and the value will be an integer. So we have our main function, int main, just a declaration for a variable, so int, call it number, which is number to check. Then from there we need to get a number from the user, so get a number from the user. So cout, enter a number, and I'll tell you, let me go to a second line, whether it is a prime. So find out, I'll let you know if it's a prime or not, and then cin, that is just number that I declared. Now next I need to determine whether it is prime, and to do that I'll use an if loop. If is prime of number, cout, you just have number, and tell the user is prime. Else, oops, cout number is not prime. And then return 0. Done for my with my main function. Now I need to work on the is prime function. So the is prime function takes an integer as an argument and returns true if the argument is a prime number, or if it's not, then it's not true, it's false otherwise. So it's either a prime or not a prime. So I have my Boolean is prime, my main function, and that's, we'll call an integer number. And for that one, first thing is I'll do a division for found. So I'll do a divisor for found is a flag that indicates whether num has a divisor. So Boolean, call it divisor for found, is equal to false. Now div is the divisor, and we got to make sure that, you know, it cannot be a 0. So we start with or at 2. So int div is equal to 2. Initialize that to 2. Now we let div take on the values from 2 up to number, or until divisor or found call it divisor, just divisor found, is true. So let's see. So here I get the number, then determine whether it is prime or not. Then is prime takes on a divisor. So let's change this. Instead of doing for found, divisor found is equal to false. Then division starts at 2. Then here we'll make sure that it finds it or not. So if it does, then, you know, it's good to go. So we'll use a while loop. So while div less than number and not divisor found, then in this case, if div divides evenly into number, then we have found a divisor and have found a divisor, and this is not a prime. And for that we'll do an if loop. If number modulus, okay, you got to remember here we cannot use division, we have to use modulus, is equal to 0, then divisor found is equal to true. And then we increment to the next divisor. And that'll be div plus plus. We're done with this one. Okay, for the while. Then if divisor found is still false, then we have a prime number. And for that one, you know, if it's the case. If not, then otherwise number is not prime. So if it's not 1, it has to be the other one is not prime. And for that one, you just return not divisor found. Oops, I should have turned on my oops, let's see, it's giving me an error. Let's see, what am I missing? I'm missing, oh, right here, semicolon. And my antivirus is doing his job. Sorry, should have turned it off. I turned it off just for 1 hour. I guess the 1 hour went over. It's pretty annoying. My apology. So enter a number and I'll tell you whether it is prime. So I'll put 5. Prime is 5 is prime. Let's do it again. Enter a number 6. 6 is not prime, and that's basically what it is. So you created your main function, very simple. Within your main function you have cout cn, then you determine if it's prime or not by using an if else loop. Okay, and then from there you work on your function prototype, which is that allows you to take an integer as an argument and then return true if the argument is a prime, the number prime number, or false, you know, if it's not the case. So create something called divisor found, initialize it to 0, start at 2, and then from there do a while loop. So if div is less than number and is not a divisor found, so it did not find it, then you do an if loop. You divide number, not divide, modulus by div is equal to 0. Then if it's true, you just increment. If not, that you return that's not the true, it's not found, so the divisor is not correct. I hope this helps, especially with number 18, and that will you know, hopefully you'll have some fun with it. I keep calling it fun. For me it is. I hope it is for you guys, and I will see you in unit 7. Have a wonderful week, and have fun as much as you can. Thank you guys.